What's up, guys? So finally we're going to get to use the Nuke Wukong. It's something that I was really kind of looking forward to more than the support build, but I wanted to make videos / test the support build first, because I think that's what most people are gonna use, or it's kind of hard to say, but I think most people in Plat are gonna use it, or high in Arena. But probably for the other people, the Nuke build is more attractive, unless you have already pulled multiple top tier nukers. And I already tested him a couple days as a nuker, so I kind of know what's gonna happen here. Except I didn't finish farming the masteries, but now we have them as well. But I already know kind of what to expect, and I kind of tested some teams that I think will be my best ones with him. And we will see how it goes. I can already say from my testing, he isn't quite as good as Rotos, but he's definitely well above all of my other nukers, so I would say he's probably like a mid A tier nuker. He's definitely one of the better ones as a nuker as well, not just as a support. And I basically have my best nuke here on him, and probably will have for the foreseeable future, because I think I will keep him as my nuker. And I already talked about his kit a bit in the other video that I made about the support build, but let's talk a bit about his kit in this video as well, because there is some differences or some mechanics that are kind of unique and interesting if you use him as a nuker. So first of all, the A1 is just a basic nuke skill, doesn't hit very hard, and it has a 50% chance to stun. But if you build him as a nuker, by the way, this is a kind of like a trap that I see many people going for. I would highly recommend that, and I guess that if you're like very early in the game, then maybe you want to go for the mid solution, but you either want to build him as a support, where you have both accuracy and resistance, so that it won't get polymorphed all the time. Or if you build him as a nuker, then you want as little accuracy as possible, because the A3 is gonna steal buffs from all of the enemies, and also place block buffs on them. And polymorph doesn't have just one chance per champion to proc, but for every buff it counts the polymorph, does it proc or not. On every buff on every champion that you steal is going to have a chance to proc it. So this is going to proc all the time if you don't have resistance or you have enough accuracy to actually steal buffs. So you want to build him low accuracy. And then there's something to note of the A2. So the A2 is not gonna sheep the target if you don't have accuracy. The skill will go through stone skin and immunity, but you still need accuracy for it. But then the other part that it ignores 50% of the enemy defense and will attack all remaining enemies with any surplus damage if the target is killed. Now the surplus damage doesn't crit itself, but if the initial hit is very hard, then the surplus damage can also one-shot the rest of the team. And the one way that you can kind of abuse this, if you hit somebody that is very low HP with low defense. Let's say that you hit the half the nuker in the enemy team, and you will hit him like 300k with this, and then you will hit the rest of his team for like 250k. So this can hit very hard, but of course Harima passive totally destroys the damage of this skill. And that's probably going to be something that I will struggle with today, but actually my game plan today is often enemy will pick both Harima and UDK against me. But now that I do have Wukong, I have a bit more damage than with Staldos, and I think that I will try to go for pretty tanky teams and try to ban the enemy Harima instead of UDK, and that means that I will not be able to do any damage for several minutes at the start, but then after that I will be unmitigated by the Harima passive, which is huge. So I'm also thinking that I might not be using Nakarada a lot today, which might seem like a mistake, but in my testing this is kind of what I'm planning to do. I will definitely still use him, but I think very often I'm gonna go with Helicat or Python as my third support instead of Necret. But I still want to pick UDK because otherwise I will get destroyed by Sifis, which is almost in every single... Oh damn, he picked Helicat. Sifis are almost in every single enemy team that I meet, so I do want to pick them, but maybe in this fight I will go with Necret since he did pick the Helicat, which is kind of what I'm planning to pick a lot as well. But let's not get too far ahead. Let's just go with the 2 nukers first, and then I can make my mind when I see what he picks. But yeah, I already saw several people asking me questions about him. How do I think he compares to other nukers? And I would say that definitely something like Baron, Chorsid, Harima and Taras are better ones. They all hit harder than him. Well, his A2 hits around the same damage as Rotos A3, except his A2 can also do AoE. But I will say that those champions are definitely better nukers. But outside of that, I think he's very solid A tier and comparable to champions like Leorios and Candy and so on. Definitely better than Staldus, let's just put it that way. And Staldus isn't even bad. Staldus is well above average, but Wukong is just that good. Okay, do we want to go with Kaimar instead? I was gonna go with Necret, but I don't know. This team is actually gonna be kind of hard because I want to ban the Harima. It's gonna reduce my damage so much, but that means that I will have to deal with the Helicat. But at least I picked the UDK. If I didn't pick UDK, I'm certain that he would have picked it. And then if I ban the Harima, then I will still have to struggle through the UDK. Okay, interesting. We kind of put him in like a lose-lose situation that either he bans Rotos and I can buff strip the Helicat block damage, or then he bans Kaimar and Rotos A3 can still kill Helicat through it, so we kind of gave us some option to deal with the Helicat this way. I just woke up, so my voice is still a bit maybe like what's the word? Like a bit lower and creaky and waking up, so it will wake up during the video. This is definitely not the worst team that I can meet in Gold 2, let's just put it this way, but that's not to say that we can't lose to this team, but there will definitely be a lot harder teams than this one. The hardest teams for me are the ones with, like, basically it's the one specific team. I mean, there's variations similar to it, but the hardest team for me is like Sifi, UDK, Harima, Taras, Marichka. That team is just impossible for me to deal with, and we will meet that specific team probably multiple times during this video, so it's pretty much undisputed general best team in live arena. So, and it especially screws me because I rely on ignore defense snookers like Rotos and Wukong. Okay, we do have a decreased crit damage on us, but I think we're still gonna hit very hard on his team with the A2, so let's see what we get. Okay, and keep in mind that was 110k damage. That was with everyone in his team having increased defense buff and our Wukong having decreased crit damage debuff, so it will hit around 300k at the hardest. And here's another interesting thing, I think, which is almost better for the nuke build than the support build. I mean, it's good for both of them, but I think it fits more the nuker style because it's gonna be squeezier than the support one. But after 3 turns, both ours and enemies, Wukong will get revived at full turn meter and health. And often it's actually not worth using revive on him at all, because then he will get revived with less health and no turn meter, which is kind of funny. So that kind of lets me save the Duchess revive for other champions dying. But I guess we're gonna have to wait out here for a bit until we can find a moment to get the turn on him, and then we will take it from there. I was planning to pick the Helicat, and I will definitely be picking that in a lot of the fights. Now, we don't have attack buff, and those are pretty tanky champions, so I don't think anybody is gonna die from this. Okay, actually we got a kill. But the A2 is the one that really hits the hard. The A2, A1 and A3 are just average hitting skills. I mean, also taking into account, of course, that my Wukong is in a very good gear. It's not like he is in a like bad gear. He is in both cruel and lethal, and also in like my best pieces basically. Well, not my best, but my second best pieces. I already kind of showed it at the start of the video, but let me just quickly show you from the Hail Hades website so you can get a bit better view how it looks. But I mean, it is my Nuke build. It's not rocket science, but it's kind of often people ask it, so I get that you want to see how it actually looks in practice. Okay, this time I have learned, I have evolved. I'm gonna move my screen so you can actually see it. But yeah, it is kind of this hard-hitting nuker with medium speed. I want him to have speed. I don't... Basically, ideally, every single piece of gear would have a speed roll in it, but no extra rolls, but I can still clip it and it makes a huge difference. The only piece of gear that we don't have a speed roll on is the chest, but otherwise it's very good one with the right ascension and the right substats, so I don't have a better one at that for now. And actually my plan on this lethal rotation is that the thing that I'm granting, the thing that I'm crafting is chests. I want to get attack nuker chest and I want to get the HP nukers chest. I already actually have a couple. I have one really good defense chest and then a couple okay ones, but I need attack and HP chest, so those are the ones that I'm going for. I actually kind of already have enough crit damage gloves at this point, so of course I could always get better ones, but I already have ones with good ascensions. And if you wanna know how to do that, then you should watch my Chaos Or guide. It was actually one of the first videos that I made. Maybe like literally my second or third video, when I didn't even have a microphone yet and I was just using my gaming headset. But it was so important topic and nobody had made a video about it that I really wanted to do it. And now there was some updates into the game, so I kind of wanted to make an updated version of the guide. There is basically the 3 methods how to use Chaos Sword that are actually are better than you think on paper, because there's some, you can manipulate the RNG pretty heavily with Chaos Sword. It's not total random new item that you get. And should I just pick Necret since we don't have dodges? Maybe we will go with Arbiter this time because I really want to get the attack buff for Wukong. Now let's just open with early Arbiter pick. I might regret this, but let's give it a go. He might pick Torment though, so that could be so. Let's leave the 3rd support slot open and maybe we will go with Python and try to have some cleanse. But the newest thing that makes huge difference in Chaos Or, there's basically... Oh, he went with Rotos. He went with Rotos even though I picked UDK. That's kind of unusual. But maybe he knows that I really rely on the Rotos. So yeah, there's 3 things or strategies where you can use Chaos on. And the third one of them is that you want to use it on special accessories like reaction and so on, because you get those very rarely, and even if you don't get the perfect piece with all of the best stats on it, it is probably still worth using in PvP. Even if you don't have like triple roll in HP, but you just have HP defense ring with percentage HP and defense, even if they don't have extra rolls on it. That's a really good one that you want to use in PvP on supports. But one other thing regarding those special accessories, which I already recommend people to KSR, is that now when we got Ascension on bottom pieces as well, or I mean the accessories. Wait, well, what do I want to pick? Probably I should go still with the second nuker. Yeah. I mean, I'm already using Helicat as a nuker, but let's go with the third. No, actually, no. Let's go with Python. Otherwise, my damage will be so bad. I mean, not my damage, my survivability. But now when we have Ascension on amulets, there's only 3 possible Ascensions that you can get on amulets, and crit damage is one of them. So I would definitely say that one of the best things that you can use Chaos on is that you want to roll all of your reaction and now possibly stone skin and protection amulets to 12 and see if you get crit damage Ascension, and then Chaos them, because you will have 1 in 3 chance to get crit damage mainstat. So it's actually pretty high chance to get what you're looking for. And of course on your main nukers you really want to get those double crit damage amulets, which make a huge difference. And on amulets specifically, since you can't get percentage damage stats in the substats, they don't really make that huge difference. So having extra crit damage is a billion times more important than having extra, I don't know, 80 attack from having a roll and flipped an attack roll on the amulet. So something to keep in mind, and I made a video specifically talking about this, and that video also has a lot more important details. Since the Duchess has stone skin, I don't think we need to waste the A2 just yet. And yeah, he had to revive on that. Anyway, let's focus on the fights. This guy is pretty high points. He's higher points than me, but his team isn't the most intimidating one. I say that and I'm losing, but no Harima, no Tara, so I'm pretty surprised that he doesn't have them. I have seen a decent amount of people using Cybele for increased defense buff. Oh damn it, that I didn't want that to happen. I think we will just cleanse it. The issue now is that even if I use the Wukong A2, he still has the Duchess. Yeah, okay, let's just go for A1. I hope that the Wukong dies to it. I'm not sure. Okay, good, it was enough damage. If I use the A2, then he will just revive and it wouldn't have been great, so... If I can survive to do one more A2 on Wukong, I might be able to still make a comeback here. Oh, okay, he wanted to end the fight fast, but my Python is tanky enough that he might not even been able to one-shot it even if he did crit. Now, we don't have attack buff, so this is not gonna be anywhere near the max damage that we can do, but I'm hoping that maybe it's still enough to kill the Duchess. Maybe it's not. Oh, it was, yeah. See, 187k damage without attack buff. It would have been like 300k plus with attack buff. Now, if he had buffs like strengthen and defense, or maybe Harima passive, it would hit maybe like 20k. So those things make a huge difference, but against a team like this without Sifi and Marichka and Harima, it will hit incredibly hard, as you can see. Like I said, that was without attack buff, so... I would sit... You can already see that his Rotos is destroying me. I was gonna say that I would still say that Rotos is definitely better, in my experience. If you have good gear, it's one of the best champions. I would say that Rotos would be the best champion in the game if UDK and Harima didn't exist. But it's one of the better champions in the game still. And I would say that definitely still probably better than Wukong, based on my testing. But Wukong is pretty close. He is still usable. It's just, Rotos is so good that it's kind of hard to beat him. But yeah, as you can see, this video is probably gonna go a lot different than not yesterday, but the last live arena video that I made. And that's not because the support Wukong was bad. I actually think it's very good, and he's gonna have place in high level classic arena as well for countering Stone Skin and specifically UDKs and Marichkas that are in 6-piece Stone Skin. But for me, since I'm really lacking in nukers and I don't have any even those A or B tier nukers, and I'm using something like Staldus or Mountain King or Initve as my like number 2 to 4 best nukers, the attack build is going to be more important to me. I'm definitely going to be using this one, even though it's going to hurt that I won't have the support build for classic arena reset. And I'm thinking that maybe if I happen to build maybe if I happen to pull some other good nukers like Ragas or Harima, then I might go for support build at that point, but definitely until then it's gonna be in the attack build. It's so good for me in live arena, so. But let's see what fights we get. Maybe we can get some a little bit harder fights, or I don't want to say these fights weren't hard. They were pretty hard, but I mean like teams with the top champions like Taras, Marichka, Sifi, those type of teams. We can definitely beat some of them, but some of them are pretty much still impossible. We would need some champion that either can ignore Harima's passive, or that doesn't rely on ignore defense and has ridiculous damage multipliers. There basically isn't any in the game. The only ones, there's 2 that can do it, and that's Taras, who has ridiculous multipliers, and then Turvold, who also, well, who has even more ridiculous multipliers in very specific circumstances, but those are basically the only 2 champions that can really do it, so Harima passive is too strong. Wait, is this the guy that we just fought, or is it somebody else? I think I either fought him just now or yesterday, but yeah, I think I fought him yesterday and lost to him probably. Oh, he picked Wukong. Maybe this was the guy that was using support Wukong, but yeah, if he goes with Wukong, then we have to go with Staldus, and that's not as fun, but UDK is still gonna be good against Wukong, assuming that it's not a nuke. It is a nuke build, but if it's not a nuke build, then he's basically UDK counter. So this might look kind of a weird choice by me, but UDK is so strong against Rotos, and it basically forces a ban. And he already has Yumeko, which I need to ban, and now Harima. So I really didn't want to let him have the Rotos, but I guess that's going to be a support Wukong then, and he probably picked it so that I can pick it, I assume. But this is looking to be kind of one of those impossible teams, and probably his last champion is going to be Sifi. And basically the only way that he would pick a team like this, if he knows that I don't have Sifi, so that's my videos hurting me again. People will always pick Sifi as the first champion, because if you don't, then the enemy will pick and you will basically almost basically lose at that point. Sifi had the highest win ratio of all of the champions in live arena, so it's not even close. I guess we're gonna go with my old basic team, but I don't have high hopes of winning with this one. Does he not have Sifi? Maybe he actually doesn't have it, but I'm surprised if he doesn't have Sifi with those champions. Though maybe he doesn't, because surely he would have first picked it if he had it. Okay, maybe he doesn't have Sifi. Interesting, I wasn't expecting that. Sadly, I have no option, I still have to ban the Yumeko. If he picked the Kaimar earlier, I would have banned the Harima and picked Mortu, but he clearly did that on purpose, so I wouldn't be able to know and prepare beforehand. But at least he doesn't have any revivers on the team, so maybe we have a chance to beat this if we can survive for a bit. The one thing that my teams are, I don't have the best champions, I don't have speed teams, but they are tanky. That's basically the only thing that I can do, so let's see if it holds up. Now, he doesn't have Siphi, so the Tara's AoE is gonna do much less damage than it usually does, because it gets 15% increased damage for every buff on your team, and he's gonna not have that many buffs with this setup. I don't know what happened here. Maybe he picked Wukong just so that I can't have it and didn't pick Siphi for that reason, or why did he go with Kaimar instead of Siphi? But surely he has Siphi. Damn, that block buffs is gonna hurt me a decent amount because my Stardust is gonna lack damage, but let's go with the A2 now instead of the A3 then. Oh nice, we got the stun. Maybe there's a small chance for comeback. If we can kill the Harima then, okay, good. Maybe we can still win this fight. But he's basically displaying the support Wukong build, and I assume that one is built in resistance probably. Like, it's something that the top accounts... Yeah, I still should kill the Wukong even though it's gonna get revived. I hope I have enough damage with the attack debuff and strengthen though. Please. Okay, good. So, what was I gonna say? Wait, actually, should I... Yeah, let's hit the Taras and not the Kaimar. Yeah, so in the high-end arena, in both live and classic, the thing that people will do with Wukongs mostly is the same thing that they're doing with Ramantu, and that is that they are building him with both accuracy and resistance to kind of try to counter polymorph. Hope I can still make a comeback here. But if the enemy doesn't have 6-star, yeah, we just need to kill Taras and then we have one. If the enemy doesn't have 6-star polymorph on their team, or maybe they just have one and aren't gonna proc it, but if they don't, then if you have resistance, you can survive the A2 and... I mean, not the A2. You can survive the... You won't get polymorph when you use the A3 or A1 on Wukong, so... People will not go for full accuracy or speed on a support build, but instead they will go for a little bit of all of them, but they will go with around 450 to 500 resistance instead. That will generally be enough against any champions that doesn't have 6-star polymorph or isn't heavily built on accuracy, like for instance Ukko could be. Nice, we actually beat this team. This is a very hard team, but somehow we were able to pull it off. Can't complain about this. As we can see, the Wukong is definitely being annoying to my team, but also, even though Wukong is basically a UDK counter, that's definitely the best use of him as a support build. But here, he was kind of wanting to A2 my Staldus with the Wukong, obviously, but weren't able to do it because of UDK, so that is still the drawback with single target skills, that UDK passive is very powerful against them. And even though my UDK kept getting polymorphed, but he's very tanky, he's not gonna die easily, so it was still good. And by the time that he got the polymorph back, then my UDK would... I mean, by the time that he would get the A2 back, my UDK would also get away from the polymorph, so that played out well for me. Let me quickly show you my UDK build. One thing I would say about UDK, my UDK... Oh yeah, I need to fix the camera. One thing I would say about my UDK build, it's very standard how you would generally build it. That I'm going for as low speed as possible. He doesn't have any speed from gear, but he does get 10 speed from faction guardians, which I do happen to have. maxed on undead, which is very nice, but I'm basically going for minimum speed and max tankiness, and I'm focusing more on HP than defense. But also some resistance on him can be pretty good, because there is still, he does have debuffs on both his A1 and A2, and often you kind of have to dance around the enemy polymorphs, and you're not gonna use the A2 so that you don't get polymorphed, or maybe you can't use A1 on the target that you want to, because it has a polymorph and you don't want to risk that to happen. So a little bit of resistance on the side is nice if you can do it. And Stone Skin set does give you some resistance, so it kind of helps with that. But then there is one more advanced thing that you can do, which I haven't done in my build because I just don't happen to have the right gear for it. But Tara's A2, which is of course one of the things that you use UDK to counter. The A2 hits very hard and hits everybody who hits Marichka as a counter attack. And it has a multiplier of 0.35, but it gets doubled to 0.7 if the enemy champion has higher attack than Tara's. And Tara's does have a very low base attack, so in practice he almost always gets the extra damage. It's kind of hard to have a lower attack than him because he has lower base attack than you. But if you really have the right gear and you want to try hard on UDK builds, you would want it so that none of your pieces of gear have any attack on them. And if you're able to do that, then oftentimes Taras will do half of the damage that he otherwise would with the A2. So that's one more advanced trick to do. I have a bit too much attack, so usually they are gonna get the full damage on me, but I don't happen to have the right pieces of gear to pull it off, and if I try to lose some attack, then I will lose a lot of the other stats and it still wouldn't be enough most of the time. So I'm still going with this kind of very tanky build instead of as little attack as possible. As you can see, many of my my best pieces of gear, like the weapon and helmet for instance, which both have triple rolls on HP, they both also have attack subset, which is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. And also my banner as well. I don't have any other HP banner on Undead with both percentage HP and defense without speed substat on it, so it is very hard to get a piece like that. Like, it basically needs to be a perfect piece if you don't want to have any attack or speed on the banner. But yeah, let's get back into the fights. I often get these type of questions, so I was kind of trying to preemptively explain those things. But if you have any questions, then feel free to ask it in comments. I don't always reply it on the same day that you post the comments, but I will reply in a couple days for sure. I used to, when I started to make videos, I was looking at the comments every day, but after a while I realized that it's not very healthy, so I only look at the comments a couple times a week instead of multiple times every day. Okay, maybe this time we can go with the Helicat strategy that I was planning to pull off. Let's go with Wukong first, because he won't really be able to know if it's a nuke or support Wukong. But if I go with Helicat here, then he's likely to go with some buff strippers. Oh, and fuck, he went with Rotos. If I would have gone with Rotos, then he would definitely go with Harima or something to try counter it, but damn, I guess he took the Rotos even though I wanted to have it. That means that he's definitely going to ban the UDK now, but that actually, it's actually not too bad. It puts him in a rock and hard place because he really has to ban the UDK for the Rotos, which I'm definitely not gonna ban the Rotos in his team. But then I will still have Helicat, which will negate Tara's damage. So maybe he will actually still ban the Helicat, but he's gonna ban one of them, I think. I don't think he's gonna ban my Duchess in this fight. Okay, and he picked Warlord, which is of course a guaranteed ban from us. There's no other way. Yeah, it's as I thought that he had to ban the UDK. He doesn't have turn meter boost, so it's very likely that... Oh wait, he doesn't. Ah, fuck. Well, let's hope that our Helicat goes before his Rotos, but probably it's not going to. Oh, it's going to, but maybe it's gonna get feared. Let's see. If Helicat doesn't get feared now, then I think I can win. Oh, should I open with the A2 without buff? I don't think it's gonna die, but I think it's gonna take a lot of damage still. Let's go for the A2. He has defense buff. Oh, see, 200k damage, he had defense buff, and we didn't have attack buff. That's how powerful the Wukong A2 is. Holy moly. I think his Necret might not be the tankiest one either, but okay, we didn't even go for the block damage because we wanted to kill the Siphi there. Otherwise I would have done the block damage, but we already finished off his team, so we didn't want to let that Siphi to pull off a revive. But interesting, this is a very powerful team on our enemy, as we can see. It's definitely not the best one because it doesn't have a Marichka in it, but it's still an insanely strong team. And we were able to pull it off with our pretty scuffed team, if I'm being honest. Definitely one champion that you don't want to sleep on in live arena is Helicat. I have made many videos about him. I remember I made my first Helicat video on the first week of the test version of live arena before the official release, and he became pretty popular after that. Like, he never was popular in arena until this, but in live arena he really is a very good choice. For classic, the fights with him tend to be very slow, so people don't want to use him because, as you know, on Platinum Arena Reset, the length of the time that you have on the fights is one of the key factors, so you want to have as fast fights as possible, which makes him kind of not attractive there. So that's why he was never really considered an arena champion until live arena. I'm sure he was used by some people in tag team arena, but that's not really the main focus for most people, and it's not super like exciting because there's no competition there. Ooh, which is fine. Honestly, I don't want to get any kind of tag team arena like reset. That would suck. If I can compete in classic arena, then I definitely wouldn't be able to compete in tag team arena. Yeah, maybe this is gonna be my first 3 picks core today, that we're gonna go with Duchess, UDK and Wukong. And that means oftentimes the enemy will not pick UDK and will not pick Rotos because of the UDK. And that kind of ensures that I have high likelihood to get the team that I want. Okay, it's going to be some kind of speed team. The last champion that he might pick could still be something like Georgid, Rhonda or Leorius. That's typically what they pick in speed teams, but also Elva is kind of untypical, so I'm not sure what he's gonna pick. Too bad that we're going to have to ban the Warlord, and the Ramantu is going to mitigate our damage by insane amount. Should I go with Helicat as the last one or something else? I don't know if I will regret this if he picks something like Charge It, but we will see. Anyway, it's been going well today so far, so we can definitely take a loss at this point, and it's not gonna make me too depressed if it happens. Okay, so it was Rhonda. I mean, that makes sense. Usually Rhonda is used in these kind of speed teams, and definitely not in go second teams like I tend to use her if I do. This might still be a pretty hard fight. I'm not sure if we're actually gonna win. If Harima goes before our Helicat, which I think is kind of likely with the Arbiter turn meter boost, even though my Helicat is very fast. But if that happens, I'm probably gonna lose, to be honest. The thing is that the Harima passive is gonna destroy the damage of my Rotos and Wukong. What? Okay, he made a mistake there. I don't know why he did that. He should have opened with the AoE taunt and taunted my Helicat. Maybe this is kind of unfamiliar matchup to him, or he hasn't met well-built bone armor Rotoses before, but that was definitely a massive mistake by his part. And if we meet him again, I'm sure he will not make the same mistake. Now you might wonder why I went with the A3 instead of the A2, even though the A2 hits many times harder. But the thing is that with the Harima passive, the A3 is actually going to hit way harder than the A2, so Harima is the bane of my existence in live arena. Even with Taras and Marichka, if there was just either UDK or Harima, or just neither one of them, I would be doing so much better than I am. Okay, I guess that's a win. Doing pretty well so far, and I guess my team in this fight was kind of unorthodox, to be honest, because I was using 3 nukers and no revive at all. Let me show you the Helicat build as well. If you have seen a lot of my videos, then this is probably not very surprising to you. I mean, I have used many variations of builds on him over time, making him faster and slower and with stone skin or lethal. But now he's kind of in a mixed build that, as you can see, his crit damage is not insane. It's only 252, but the speed is also 264, so it's kind of a hard-hitting nuke build that focuses more on speed than full-on damage, but it's still a nuke build and not a total support build. So I would definitely classify him as a nuker and not a support in that fight. But honestly, I think he made a mistake there. If he just did the Harima A3 and taunted the Helicat, unless he got polymorphed from it, or she got polymorphed, then I think he would have won the fight against me. Wait, so let's see the battle log, actually. I didn't lose any fights so far, right? Oh yeah, okay, nice. Yeah, I was testing this yesterday and I had a pretty good run yesterday, but as you can see, I met some of the players with the best possible team, so those were kind of hard as well, but yeah, can't complain about Wukong. People always get mad that I mean, I think Plarium does many things, if I'm to be honest, they kind of do them maliciously. It's not like they're stupid. They know what they're doing when they're trying to force people to pay money and so on. But when people say that they make all of the fusions bad, I would say that they make non-void legendaries in general bad on purpose, and they want to make void legendaries a lot better. And then they make some champions like Ukraine Duo on purpose super OP, but we have had many good fusions in the history of the game. I would definitely say that if we objectively look at the fusion champions, the average fusion champion is significantly better than average champion in the game. Like we're talking about legendaries, but the average fusion is better than average normal champion. And especially the 7-day login rewards, they are generally super insane. I think all of them except the Alexander the Sharpshooter are top tier champions, basically. And of course, Wukong isn't gonna be ridiculously OP like Taras, Marichka or Siphi. But outside of those champions, which should be nerfed, he is total top tier champion. So if you're in between, if you want to book him or use him, you definitely want to do. Unless you like, it's what I said to a couple people that were asking me if they want to build him as a nuker. But let's say that you already have, like, I don't know, Taras, Harima and Baron, then it's not like Wukong is going to be better nuker than them. Baron is going to be better, like, just hard-hitting AoE nuker, and Taras and Harima are going to be more tanky and still provide enough damage. But you could use him as a support build instead of a nuke build. But maybe the nuke build isn't for everybody, but unless you have the best of nukers, then probably you still want to use the nuker build. I think the nuker build, if I'm being honest, is more for like mid-game players, and then for the ultra end-game players, they probably want to use the support build to counter enemy Stone Skin champions like UDK and Marichka. But I'm not quite that far because I just don't have the champions to pull it off. I really need him as a nuker. Yeah, it's against my fellow clanmate, and of course we have 0% chance to win this fight, but let's give it a go. I've been through this matchup many times before, so you might be wondering that why do I go with Helicat and not something like Python and have double reviver? Well, the thing is that if I do that, I will just never have enough damage to kill this team, even if I survive for 10 minutes just because I massively happen to outgear that opponent, which I'm not saying is the case in this fight, but against this type of team. The Siphi and Marichka combo is just gonna be unkillable with Wukong. It's gonna be killable with Rotos if I can survive, but it's not killable with Wukong because he doesn't get extra turns. Unless I also have a second nuker in my team. So if I went with something like Python in my team, for sure the enemy would have banned my Rotos and I wouldn't be able to kill this team just with Wukong. So now to try to counter it, I have to go with triple nuker, and of course in this instance they are gonna ban my Duchess, but it is kind of what I'm forced to do, and I guess I just shouldn't even expect to be able to beat this type of teams anyway, so it is what it is. I mean, I can definitely beat some of these teams if they have a lot worse gear than me, but definitely it's not going to be this one. And by a lot I mean like a lot worse gear. Like those level 80 players with this team, maybe I can barely beat sometimes, is what I'm saying. And of course, as you know, like Rotos and everybody in my team has insane gear, so it's not like this is not easy, even though it might look like I'm almost putting up a fight, but my gear is insane. It's generally better than anybody that I meet, and even if there is somebody with equal gear, it's not really going to be better than mine, except maybe they have better speed gear, but not on the other stuff. I just never farmed Dragon because it felt more important to farm Fire Knight back in the day, so if you really want to compete in the speed, then you would have to farm it a lot, or I think I'm gonna hit the Marichka. I don't want to reduce his attack just yet. Wait, can we actually pull off a win? No, dude, I think we actually won at this point. Holy shit. I can't believe we beat Gall again, but I think that's the case. Well, actually, yeah, I think we got it. Nice. What? Okay, well, I guess Wukong is very powerful. To be honest, we're not gonna beat these type of teams most of the time, but I guess in this one we got lucky, and he hasn't met a monkey like this before, so maybe he was kind of underestimating the team. I need to post that in my clan Discord to gloat a bit. I hope he doesn't get mad, but I must do it. Okay, now we're gonna get destroyed in the second fight, but it is what it is. Winning the first fight was good enough for me. Now we can just take a victory lap and I'll crap in my clan Discord even if he beats us like 15 times in a row, which is going to do if we get him that many times. But win is a win, we got him. Yeah, so this is gonna be kind of night and day version compared to my last live arena video where I didn't do that well when I was showcasing the support Wukong, but now we're dominating eventees like ultra cons that are a billion times better than mine, so that's pretty nice. Okay, this time he went with Rotos, kind of knowing what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be a lot harder now, for sure. I mean, I have UDK, and he knows that I do, and he still went with Rotos, because, yeah, it's that good. I mean, he's probably gonna ban my UDK, don't get me wrong. I don't have a lockout champion, and he probably knows it, so... Damn, I have barely drank my morning smoothie. I need to get this done. Okay, what do I want to do this time? Should I just go with wait, I think my Mountain King is missing boots. Let me double check. I don't have time. Yeah, it's missing boots. I can't use it. Let's I'll probably re-gear Mountain King after this fight, actually. Yeah, I was playing around with some builds and testing stuff, and I took his boots off, but I should have taken Mountain King for this fight, if I could have. I can show you the optimizer, how I use it after this fight as well. I think I did it on the last video, but people often ask about it. That's kind of part of the reason actually why I'm crafting chest in this rotation, since I do want both attack and HP 1. I have insanely good boots actually, HP boots, but I just don't have any chest at all to pair it, and that's why it's actually worth for me to use like speed boots on Mountain King, because I happen to have really good speed boots, and the combination of it ends up being better than using my insanely good HP boots as well. So okay, in this fight we don't have any kind of chance. He played it better and he took the rotos away from me. So, but there's no takebacks. We already won against him, so he can never unlive that humiliation. Just kidding, just kidding. Or am I? Anyway. I think this is probably what I'm gonna go a lot with in the foreseeable future. It's not going to be pretty, but I think I will be using Helicat a lot and probably not that much of Necret actually. I will definitely use Necret, but not in every fight. Okay, we don't have attack buff. How hard are we going to hit the Siphi? This is going to be well geared one, so it might not even die to this. Yeah, not even close. Kind of night and day, because the other Siphis got destroyed, but this one does have strength and buff as well, and very high HP. It wasn't a squishy one, so okay, I guess we put out good enough fight. We can't be too mad about this. I mean, we knew that this was going to be lost cause, and probably the Mountain King wouldn't have done any better either, and we could have gotten a bit more lucky. The Duchess, I think it took damage through reaction and it didn't proc, so that sucks, but it is what it is. By the way, let me actually show you that quickly. That's one thing that people often... What? Okay, so one thing that people often ask about the reaction accessories, that do I want to use this or should I use my better reaction accessory that I have on my account? Let me just show you how much I sacrifice on my dots for the reaction accessories. I'm using crit damage amulet and I'm using defense ring without defensive percentage subset. Of course I have much better ring and amulet, or like probably a dozen of both that are much better ones, but I'm still using them for the reaction set. So I'm sacrificing probably like, I don't know, like 7000 HP to have these two pieces, and he still crit me through them, so that is painful. Okay, so let's run the Mountain King build. I have made a separate video about this and I have explained it in a couple other videos as well, but we're going to choose the damage build, the damage mode, and then you want to choose the skill that ignores defense, because it's gonna affect the damage calculations. And on Mountain King it's going to be the A2 that ignores 50% of defense. And then we're gonna... Well, it's lacking a bit. Then we're gonna set the enemy defense at 4200. And Mountain King actually does scale a bit from attack, even though he's mainly HP scaling champion, but let's just put the attack buff here anyway. It might make a small difference. Now, here you kind of... we already set it to scale for max damage, so you don't have to put anything here for damage or anything else, unless you really want to. Like, let's say that on one champion, they always crit with 70% crit rate, then you could change this one. But the only thing that we're gonna put here is the minimum speed, and we probably will run a couple variations of this, but let's just set the speed at 220 minimum and then see what we get. And you could, since we went with the damage mode, you could leave the sets totally unchecked and not go with any at all, and it will find the right team. But since I do know that my lethal and cruel combination is the best one, it's going to be faster to calculate if we narrow it only to these sets, so let's just go with that. Off video I will probably not put them, but since I'm still doing the video, let's just do it a bit faster. Or if you know that your lethal and cruel is good enough, then you can just do it always as well. But sometimes if you have much better gear on other pieces of sets, it might even be worth not using lethal at all, or using lethal with 2 broken pieces and not cruel sets. But if you have very good gear, then it's always going to be lethal or savage and cruel for him, or any nuker in the game. I've mentioned it many times, but people always ask about it. Cruel is better for damage for both HP and defense scaling nukers as well. The 5% defense ignore is so big that it's still better to use it. Okay, let's see what builds we get. I'm not trying. I wanted to do this quickly, but I guess it's gonna take a bit of time, but I really want to get the Mountain King ready if I want to use him. Okay, can we run it now? So it's probably gonna give us the build with the speed boots that I don't want him to use on. And what we're gonna do is... it's lagging. We're gonna leave those... what is it doing? Okay, we kind of broke the optimizer. Usually it runs fine, but I don't know what's happening now. Or is it my web browser somehow screwing it up? Okay, let's close this. I'm pretty sure it saved the settings, I hope. Yeah, it saved the settings, so let's just run it again. It's probably going to give me a build with the speed boots, which I don't want to use, so we're just gonna lock them off and then show the second next build and run the optimizer a second time. Yeah, we're gonna tick these off, and now it's going to give me a build with my cruel HP boots, which I know are my best boots, but I just don't have a fitting 2-piece set for them. So, but yeah, now we're gonna get a build with them. Yeah, exactly. These are very good boots, but as you can see, I don't have the perfect pairing. Like the helmet here is crap, as you can see. So let's quickly put that build and then carry on with the fights. But people often ask me that why don't you show you when you do these builds on video, so might as well do it now. If I change the builds for like 10 champions, then it's going to be super boring, but I had to change the build on this Mountain King anyway, so let's do it now. I need to start getting some like kickoffs from, or not kickoffs, kickbacks from Hell Hades website, because I'm always giving them like advertisements. But let's face it, the Hell Hades optimizer is too good. Like, even if you, for some reason, even if you don't like them or you don't like their website, you should use it. The tool is so good, there's just no way going around not using it. It's much faster and more precise than if you would do it manually. If you have very small account, oh damn it, it's giving, I didn't notice this. This build was giving the Staldus gauntlets. Let's take that off as well and go for the second or third best build. But yeah, even if you are kind of hesitating to use it, it is better to use it. But if you have very small account with very little amount of gear, then you might not need it but for a big account like mine, it's definitely way better than me manually trying to do this all the time. It's not like you can do it. We used to do it back in the day without the optimizer. We had separate calculators that we could use to calculate which build does more damage, but now we don't have to do it, and this is way better. Okay, what's up? I don't know if it's the optimizer or if it's my my web browser, but it keeps crashing. Okay, I guess I doxed my email address, but it doesn't really matter because you can see it from YouTube anyway, so... And of course that's not my only email, but it's okay. I'm not even gonna scrap that from video, it's not that big deal. Okay, now it gives us a better build. Yeah. Okay, let me get this quickly done and we can finally get back into the fights. You can just skip this if you don't care about this part. Or I guess it's too late at this point. Maybe this is some gloves that I got fairly recently, because I'm kind of surprised that it's not maxed out. Oh, we're also missing a banner. Wait, didn't I put the boots on? Okay, yeah, thank God I didn't destroy the boots, I just somehow misclicked it and I didn't put them on. By the way, if you destroy your pieces of gear and you make a ticket about it, Plarium doesn't give it back to you. I remember, this is years ago, but I remember Rats had, I think it was a very good weapon on either Savage or Cruel, and he was showcasing it on a video, and he accidentally destroyed it. And then he asked Plarium if they can give it back, and then they gave him a random piece of weapon that was like complete garbage as a replacement. That was so dumb. They might as well have given him nothing, because giving him something total garbage is just like trolling him for no reason. Okay, we can't max this out, but I still need to farm tons of both oil and what's the other one called? Oil and extract, yeah. I need both of them. I was actually farming the extract today, and I just finished off the crit damage amulet for Wukong before this video. But we're undefeated today. I was no, not undefeated, my bad. We lost to Gall again one time. Okay, never mind. We still did very well. We won the first fight, so I kind of like erased the loss from my memory. It doesn't even count since we won against him once. Ah, come on. Don't give me my clan mace. God damn it. There's no way I can win against him. Yeah, let's get back to those easy fights that I was getting at the start of the video. Even though then I was complaining that these fights are too easy and I can't give a good showcase about Wukong, but let's get back to that. Yeah, we're gonna see the same thing pretty much every time. I mean, you have heard me complain about it so many times that let's not even get into it. Oh yeah, by the way, let me show you after this fight our CVC. We have actually very interesting one this time. Usually we go for 2-1 against the enemies, and we're not going as hard in CVC as some other clans, like maybe Sacred Pandas or IBR or Gods and Legends or maybe even ET. All of them go much harder in CVC than us. We are pretty much free to play. I know that people are gonna cringe at it, but compared to those people, we are like totally. Wait, too slow. compared to those people, we are like free to play. I'm not even kidding, even though you might think I am. So we kind of basically try to avoid fighting the top clans in CBC, and we never really go for 3 reaction or 4 reaction. But this time there is 4 reaction on the table, and all of them is 4 each, so you can get 16 reaction. I don't know if they have never done this before. This might be the most reaction that you have ever been able to get from a CBC. I know that there has been couple CBCs before as well with 4 reaction, but I don't think it was 4 times 4. I think some of them were 2 or 3. But because of that, and because we lost the last fight on purpose and did low points, we got easier fight this time, and our clan decided to go super hard in this one. Damn, he has everybody in stone skin. That's kind of unusual, and the Helicat getting feared was very unfortunate. I don't know if I can make a comeback anymore, but maybe I could have if I got the block damage up. Damn, I still can't hit anybody. Come on. Let's at least get Judges not feared. Okay, good. I don't know if I can even get a turn with Helicat, but maybe we can. Yeah, this fight actually might be winnable. He doesn't have Harima or UDK in the team. If I can get the block damage up now, yeah, I think we can actually beat. If we got this far into the fight and now we're actually able to deal damage, I think we can actually win. Yeah, that would be quite big upset if we can actually win this fight. And I know that some people in the comments are gonna get mad that I'm like stalling with Helicat and I'm being like very annoying, but like, what do you want me to do? I mean, if they weren't using Taras and Marichka, then maybe I wouldn't be using Helicat, but they are gonna use their best champions, and I have to use Helicat against these teams if I want to have even a shred of chance to be able to win against them. Not saying it's a guaranteed win at this point, but it's looking pretty good. I think we're gonna win, to be honest. Which is making me pretty excited, because I have been feeling pretty down for not being able to get Quintus. But I think now with Wukong, I have a much better chance of getting there. The thing is that in the past, if I would have met this team, my 2 nukers would have been Staldus and Rotos, and he would just ban the Staldus, and I would never be able to beat a team like this. Ah, damn, that's a very tanky Sifi. That's very impressive build. But yeah. This might seem like I had these champions before, that why weren't I able to put out a fight, but they would always just ban Rotos and Staldus wouldn't have enough damage to do it. But now they can ban either Rotos or Wukong, but either one of them has a lot more damage than Staldus, so I have a better chance in this. Now, to be fair, Rotos is still a lot better. He should have banned Rotos instead of Wukong, but Wukong is kind of new, so he probably isn't super familiar with the matchup just yet, so. The combination of Marichka and Sifi, both of them reviving each other's with full turn meter or 75% turn meter, it's a lot easier to deal with this with Rotos than Wukong, because Rotos can kill Marichka with the A3 and then get extra turn and kill Sifi. But let's say that I nuke the enemy team with Wukong A2, and then Marichka is gonna revive everybody. Wukong is not going to have any damage for several turns after that, and then Siphi is just gonna revive Marichka, and we're just gonna repeat the same thing until the enemy team kills me. Now, if I get lucky, or in very specific circumstances, it might be possible, but it's not easy to beat this with Wukong. I don't know if I can kill the Siphi, but I must try at least. Okay, good. I had attack debuff on me and he had protection, so I wasn't certain if I can do it or not, but you might be thinking that why did I kill the Siphi first and not Marichka? But both of his Marichka and Siphi are very tanky, and the Siphi is gonna keep putting out buffs and healing them, and Marichka doesn't have a direct revive, so I must do it this way. First I kill the Siphi, and now he's gonna have less buffs, and then I actually will be able to kill the Marichka with the Protoss A3 and end the fight. But what's gonna happen here now is that I'm probably gonna kill Necret 2 first before I go for Marichka, because otherwise Marichka is gonna get the Necret protection. Oh nice, we got the block revive already. Yeah, at this point is looking very good. If I just get to do one A3 on the Marichka, that's gonna probably seal the deal. Assuming that UDK is still alive and Protoss isn't gonna get stunned by Taras A2, but my UDK is very tanky, as you saw. It's like 130k HP. I haven't got lucky, and well, lucky, I guess, yeah, lucky. On last weekend when we had 2x events for all of the shards, I didn't get anything with the voice and I was kind of feeling bad about it. And then I did also pull on Ancients the next day. I think I only had maybe 50 or something, not an insane amount, and that's after me buying some with games. But I did end up getting a UDK, and I got a +1 UDK now. And it's definitely not the best thing that I could pull, but it was still something very like impactful. Well, let's say impactful, maybe not very impactful, but it was. Another screenshot for the clan Discord to gloat with. I mean, I can't help it. I'm not able to beat teams like this normally, so I have to taunt them a bit in our Discord, and they do it all the time as well, so they can take it. Yeah, I'm gonna put something super clickbaity on this video's title, but it's going to be true anyway, because we're doing very well, so I hope this video gets more views than the one that I did on support build, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't, which is going to be sad, because this is going to be a lot more interesting video than the other one. Okay, this is kind of bad. He got the UDK and Protoss, which I really wanted to pick. And yeah, now we're gonna have to go with Staldos and probably Necret instead of something else. Yeah, maybe we're not gonna pick Helicat in this fight. Let's at least pick the Wukong so that he doesn't get it as well. Maybe I will go with Arbiter as my last pick. Maybe I'll go with Staldos and Arbiter. Hopefully he doesn't pick Harima or Lockout, so I can ban the UDK. Okay, he picks Are you kidding me? Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. So yeah, this fight is going to be painful. It's not going to be fun. Should I just go with Helicat? He's already making it insanely like painful for me, so should I give him his own medicine? Let's make this fight as long and stally as possible. I mean, he's gonna beat me eventually with Rotos, so, and Harima. Both of them are stacking damage, so... No, let's just go with Arbiter and Helicat, but there is zero chance that we can win in this fight. It's not possible. he has to have very like very bad builds if like he's going to lose this matchup, so I could almost just quit right now, but let's at least try and see what happens. Yeah, so this is gonna be like the night and day difference of the other fights. That in those fights we had Wukong and Rotos, or at least one of them. But now we're not gonna have neither one of them. We have Staldus, and this is not going to be same as the other fights. Now, granted, his team doesn't look to be very tanky. It's kind of a medium tanky Siphi, and he doesn't have any bolster in his team. Maybe it's possible to kill this team in the long run, who knows. It's not as tanky as those Taras and Marichka teams, so maybe it's actually doable. If he had a more tanky Siphi build, then it wouldn't be like the last guy. The last guy had probably like 130 or 150k HP on the Siphi. That was a very tanky one, but this is a different build, so probably a more faster build, so maybe we can take this one. That's one thing that I have mentioned many times in the videos, but in the past on speed champions like Siphi, people would go for max speed even if you were using like flat attack loss with triple speed roll on speed set. That's the type of pieces that people would use and advocate for others to use. But in the live arena meta, even if you are using something like Siphi in a speed build, you still want it to be tanky, and people aren't going for the maximum speed anymore, but more for a balanced build with high speed but also good amount of HP and defense. And that means that you do want to have at least HP chest and gloves, and maybe even boots. I'm pretty sure the last guy that we fought probably had HP boots on the Siphi as well. Okay, it's getting very close. I don't know if it started off well, but I don't know if we actually can finish him off. Yeah, I think we might still end up losing this fight, but it was getting pretty close. The Staldus damage is just not quite the same as some of those other nukers, so... Okay, yeah, that was a loss. I kind of knew it from the lobby, but it was kind of close. We almost got him, but he had both UDK, Warlord, and Harima, but then he even ended up banning Taras, so I mean Wukong, so I had to use my third best nuker, and it's a night and day difference. Champions are just the biggest deal in arena. Of course gear matters too, but if you have a mediocre gear and you have the top champions, you're like a billion times better off than if you have insane gear and like C tier champions. It's just, it is what it is. But we got a new top tier free champion, so we really can't complain. Plarium is really giving us a bone again. It's not even the first time. Yeah, one of the fights that I fought against my clanmates just now, the guy said in our Discord that the fight gave him brain damage. I'm pretty sure that's the one that I was using Helicat in. I know that the Helicat often pisses people off, but like, what am I gonna do? Of course I'm gonna try to win the fights. I think I even said it during that fight that he's probably gonna get mad about the Helicat because it's not the first time that it happens. So damn, he picked Wukong again. I don't even know if it's a Nuke Wukong. I'm pretty sure it's going to be support Wukong because he picked it after me picking UDK, so that's unfortunate because I would have preferred to have gotten this Wukong. Hopefully after the hype dies down, then maybe I can get Wukong a lot more than I can right now, so... What am I even gonna pick? Python or Arbiter? I guess I'll just go for Python. By the way, I'm also finally gonna move now. I mean, I had my new place already at the start of the summer, but now I'm finally gonna move. It's gonna happen during this weekend, or on Friday I get the place, but I'm gonna have to start leaving on Thursday, and there might not be any or many videos in the rest of this week. We will see. If I get the new place set up fast, then I will probably try to make at least one video on weekend, but no promises. It might not happen. We will see. Yeah, let's go with double reviver because he does have the charge in his team, but I think we don't have a chance against this team, to be honest. If I had the Wukong passive would have been great against Charged. That's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, we only have Helicat as our only nuker in this one. But... oh yeah, he's probably gonna polymorph the Helicat, but... Helicat can definitely kill this team, but the Wukong A2 might be issue here. I think he's just gonna keep polymorphing our Helicat. Oh, never mind, I guess he has to go for the UDK, so... Wait, can I just kill the Shortshit before it gets a turn? Damn, I would have liked to see... I would have liked to see what would have happened there, but I think even without the defense buff, I would have been able to kill the Shortshit. Wukong also seems to be very squeezy. Maybe it's also a nuker, right? Thought that it was going to be a support build, but it's not fast and it's not tanky, so it must be a nuker, I assume. Now when it hits the Helicat, it's gonna destroy my team. Like, well, I guess I have two Stone Skin champions, but it's gonna be hitting insanely hard with the A2 now, because it deals the surplus damage to everybody else. Okay, never mind, it's a support build. It deals the surplus damage to everybody else, and Helicat is very low HP now, so... I don't know what's up with that build. Maybe it's very high resistance, but that support Wukong is neither fast or even slightly tanky, so the build is kind of weird. I don't know if we're even gonna get a turn with Helicat in this fight. Yeah, let's surrender. It's not a matchup that we can beat, sadly. if I had Wukong in that fight, I would have been able to beat him, but sadly he picked it, so... Well, I guess he got the dodges as well, so... It did hurt me a bit. But I mean, it's not like, I mean, I understand that of course those types of accounts should have very big advantage against me. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with like buying shards and those giving you advantage, but of course it feels very frustrating to lose against accounts like that. I mean, I have been playing the game for a long time, so if it wasn't like pay to win game, I know that I would have the advantage, but in some other types of games, like in MMOs, I definitely would, but not in this game. Okay, I guess in this fight we're gonna get the team that I want to get, but he's also going to have a very good team, so it will be interesting matchup if we can pull it off. Hopefully he will also ban the Wukong and not Rotos. Even though the Wukong is very good, but in the specific matchup with Marichka and Siphi, Rotos is able to deal that with that a lot better with his A3 and the extra turn. Yeah, I think I'll go with Helicat again. I do really like this team with triple nuker with Helicat. Even though they often like to ban the Judges, and in that case I don't have any revivers in this team, but if my Helicat doesn't get feared and gets one block damage off, it's still not completely impossible to win against teams like this. And now with the Wukong, I'm also gonna get speed aura for the Helicat, so there's a very high chance that it's gonna go before the enemy nukers. And who knows, maybe we get lucky and maybe Taras will get polymorphed from the fear. Funny, I don't think I have ever seen a Taras using that mastery which boosts the leads debuff on enemies if you CC them. It honestly almost sounds kind of a bad choice because it gives him extra chance to get polymorphed, so I'm not quite sure why he's doing it. Okay, the A2 is gonna do like 0 damage on Harima. It's barely gonna break the shield, not even, but we had to do it. We have to kill the Harima first before we can deal any damage against this guy, so... For the same reason why Cruel 2-piece set is better for HP scaling nukers than crit damage or HP 2-piece set. For the same reason, the Harima passive is incredibly devastating on nukers that rely on ignore defense, and it will totally gut their damage. Generally those skills are not going to have super high multipliers because they already have ignore defense, and that's kind of how it is with Rotos. His multipliers are actually very low, and the A2 actually has significantly higher multiplier than the A3, even though the A3 hits harder, much harder, and that is because of the ignore defense. But against Harima, Rotos A2 is gonna do more damage, and the A1 is gonna do the same damage as the A3, so it's not really even worth using the A3 on Rotos unless we unless somebody is very low HP and it's gonna die to the A3 anyway. Probably I'm gonna lose this fight. It's not an easy one, but at least we're kind of trying to give him a fight and not completely easy free win in couple seconds. I don't know what will happen if I do get Harima. I mean, I was saying earlier that I want to put the Wukong in support build, but often enemy will pick or ban one of them, so I don't know, even if I get Harima, do I want to use Wukong in support build? But when I do get her, then I would have 3 nukers, and I think that would completely change the game for me. I mean, Wukong already did, but if I also had Harima, then I think I would do insanely better, and even against a team like this, I think I will put out a very hard fight. I think I would start beating teams like this, unless they have like insanely good gear and also play good, but I don't think I would even be easy fight for teams like this anymore. I would probably first pick Harima in almost every fight. I don't have Siphi anyway, and if I pick the Harima, then they can pick it to counter my Wukong or Rotos. But okay, I guess this fight is done. If he didn't have the Harima, we could easily kill this team with Rotos, but we're just not able to deal any damage because of the Harima passive. It is very like annoying. I would literally just one-shot the Siphi without attack buff if it wasn't for the Harima passive. And as we can see, with Siphi and Marichka, he has more heals than I can do damage, so my Wukong A1 can't even break the shield on Harima, not even close to breaking it. I think the couple Taras, Marichka, Siphi teams that you saw me winning against, those ones were without Harima. I think one of them had Necret, and I don't remember what the other one had, but the Harima is the key factor here, why I'm losing against this team and how I was able to beat the Zeus team that had that insanely geared Siphi. I don't know if he has the Harima, but if he has, then he should have picked it against me. Harima is still kind of new champion, so even all of the top accounts and giga whales, they still might not have Harima. Even though it's not a void champion, but the issue with non-voids compared to voids, I mean, if you're a big spender, it's a lot easier to get specific void champion than it is to get a specific non-void champion, because there is so many non-void champions in the game. The pool is so massive that it's very hard to get what you want, but this is what everybody wants. At the start, when Harima was released, most people were actually not using Harima as a nuker, and they were using it kind of as a support champion for the passive and as a tank in classic arena defense. But with live arena, when the speed of the fights is not the factor and the main factor is that you want to win, Harima became insanely popular, and it's almost better than Taras. It's comparable. It's not like clearly worse than Taras. It's comparable to him, which is insane because Taras is like light years apart from everybody else, except like Rotos and Harima. I will still say, and maybe it's because I'm biased, maybe you can tell me if you disagree, but I will still say that Rotos is definitely the worst out of the three. But in the situation that Harima didn't exist in the game at all, or UDK, then Rotos would be like on par with Taras pretty much. But because there is two so massive counters against him, it makes Rotos a lot worse than he actually is. Okay, this is probably gonna be the last or second last fight, so let's get a win now. To be fair, the teams that we lost against, they had really good teams, so before, without Wukong, I wouldn't have had any chance against them anyway, so... Damn, we got Harima again. I really didn't want to meet Harima. Let's hope that he doesn't have Warlord. If he doesn't have like Yumeko or Warlord in the team, for sure I'm gonna ban the Harima. If that's the case, then I can if that's the case, then I would have been able to do well against this team, but nah. Of course he has lockout. Everybody in this game has that damn lockout except me. Maybe we're gonna lose this fight as well. Actually, maybe I should go with Staldus instead of Rotos. I think it's actually gonna be better in this one because his team doesn't seem that tanky. I mean, if he picks Marichka as the last one, then that will change things, but both Rhonda and Harima are big counters for Rotos, not just with the Harima passive, but they do multi-hits, so... Should I go with Arbiter? Actually, I think he's gonna go with Arbiter. Yeah, let's pick it. Yeah, he would have definitely picked Arbiter if I didn't, so this was the right decision. It might seem kind of weird, why did I go with Staldus and not Rotos, but like I said, Rhonda and Harima are both counters to Rotos. And then Staldus is also it's gonna get weak hit by Rhonda, and it's not as deterred as by Harima passive as Rotos is, so he's actually gonna be better against this. And his team isn't that tanky, so it's doable with Staldus. It's kind of funny, I haven't really been using Necret today, but I feel like I was testing the Nuke Wukong build for last couple of days, and it does feel like I almost don't want to use Necret in these teams. It's better to use the UDK and then something like Helicat or Kaimar. Or I could use Necret, but I want to use UDK over Necret, let's put it that way. I think we can beat this one. I hope. Nice, nice. Okay, we can definitely do it now. What? Oh, did I guess Rhonda had reaction and I broke it. Oh, okay. He's trying to end the fight very fast. He locked out the judge's skills, and that's of course not very good for me. But I think wait, should I... Who has polymorph? No, only Sifi has polymorph. That means that I... Oh fuck. I misclicked. I was gonna use A2, but I misclicked it. I was gonna use the A2 and try to fear the Harima, but I guess I screwed it up. Come on, let's give us a win. we got couple losses and a bad taste in our mouth, and let's at least end this with couple victories. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a lot worse than the other teams that we had last couple fights against, so let's not get too excited about this. But it's kind of funny, in Gold 2 there is just gonna be a lot of people will have the best possible teams, and then there also will be a good amount of people like this who have much worse teams, and we're gonna have night and day differences in these fights, mainly depending on what champions do they have. Mostly everybody has very good or decent gear, but some people have much better champions than some others. Oh yeah, we had three fight loss streak, but to be fair, all of these were really strong teams, so I can't be too bad about it. I can't feel too sad about it. Yeah, my English is getting a lot of glitches like my web browser, so. But yeah, I think after this video there should be no doubt in anyone's mind that Nuke Wukong is definitely very good, well above average nuker in the game. I will put it on same level as something like Leorios. It kind of depends on situation, that sometimes Leorios might be better and sometimes Wukong might be better, but maybe even slightly better than Leorios. I don't want to go that far because Leorios is very good champion, but on same level. I don't want to say one way or another, but at least it's gonna be on the same level as Leorios. But yeah, we're gonna go with the same team that we went with in almost every fight. This is clearly my best team from the last couple days of testing. Oh, Ukko. Haven't seen a lot of Ukko today. I guess technically we could, if we really want to. Should I pick Mortu just to? Yeah, let's pick Mortu. Since he gives us the opportunity, it's probably, I think I could win this fight anyway, and I could pick like a reviver and be more safe. But since he is giving us the opportunity to use Mortu, then let's do it. I kind of it's a meme at this point for me, and every time they use Kaimar or Ukko, I'm tempted to go with Mortu even if I don't need it, but if I can use it, then let's use it. Hope I don't. Wait, I should have used the Wukong aura and not Mortu. Hope I don't regret this, but I think we can beat this fight. Let's add a little bit of RNC and spice in the last one and not take the easiest possible win that we could have gotten. Yeah, maybe I will regret this big time, but if Mortu just procs one burial, then I should be good. Yeah, we have decreased attack, so we're not gonna hit hard at all. It's kind of sad. Maybe I shouldn't waste the A2 here. Let's go for the A3. Even if it's not with attack buff, but if I can use the A2, then I can probably kill his team with Wukong. What is he doing? Yeah, I guess he's just stalling it, but he's still gonna have to do some AoE nukes. Okay, okay, come on, please no weak it, please no weak it. Come on. Ah, 2 weak hits, come on. That's bullshit. Ah, god damn it! I should have just gone with Python, and then this would have been easy win. I knew there was a chance for this to happen if I picked a very squishy team, but I wanted to go with Mortu for fun. I was hoping that he would kill the Wukong so he would lose the attack buff, but I guess he's on purpose not gonna do that. Okay, now he has to do it, I guess. I don't know if I'm gonna stay alive long enough for Wukong to get revived anymore, though. Okay, if he procs the peril now, then I'm totally fine. Okay, he didn't. If I kill the Rhonda there and I got Wukong back up, then I would win. I hope that Sifi is not gonna cut. Yeah, Sifi is gonna cut in and sleep Wukong maybe. Ah, god damn it. Okay, well it is what it is. It was my own fault that I lost that one. I wanted to have some fun with Mortu, but if I just picked Python in this one, then I would have had the reviver and I definitely would have beaten this team. And I guess I could have also cleansed the Wukong and hit very hard, but it is what it is. This video was going too well, so I had to troll some fights. I mean, I shouldn't have, but it happened, so. I mean, to be fair, if I could have gotten a lot luckier in that fight as well. Ah, damn it, he picked the Wukong. I don't know if it's going to be a Nuke Wukong or a support. He has the blessing on it, but he actually didn't use any blessing. If he had like, I don't know, Temporal Chains or Soul Reaper, then we would know what he's using, but he didn't put it on, so we don't actually know if it's a support or nuke build. He's keeping us in anticipation. Wait, is that the right word, what I mean? I don't know what's that word in English. Or I can't recall it right now. What the word that I mean is tension. That's what I mean. He's keeping us in tension. This team almost looks doable with Stylus. He does have a lot of healing, and it kind of depends how tanky the Python is, but it might be doable with Stylus. He does have some polymorph, but not that much. Let's go with Wukong. I mean, not Wukong, Ukko as well. And then we will have 2 revivers if he ends up banning Duchess, and maybe we can polymorph them or just stun them. I mean, he does have double cleanse, so that's not gonna be happening a lot, but I could get rid of some of the buffs at least. Yeah, this is generally what happens if I don't have Wukong, that they're always gonna ban Rotos and then I'm gonna be left with Stylus. Which is why I was doing much better today than I normally do in live arena. Because this didn't happen to me in every fight. Yeah, I mean he's gonna cleanse the block buffs, but at least we'll get rid of the crit damage, so let's do it. Ah, damn it. Also, he's gonna have less buffs for the Python passive that gives them 5% damage mitigation per buff on them. Oh nice, my Staldus somehow survived it. Never mind, now he's gonna get polymorph by... No, never mind, I have UDK. I'm fine. What? I think that's a hybrid Wukong build. I don't think that's a support or a nuke build. As I mentioned before, I don't think that's the best build to go with, but maybe that is giving us a chance to compete in this one. It's not tanky, it's not fast, it can get polymorphed, and it doesn't have enough damage to kill us, so it kind of has the worst of all of the possible worlds. It doesn't excel at anything, but I guess it can be useful, and maybe for more early or mid-game players, this might be the build to go with. But here, lots of people have polymorphs. I have multiple polymorphs in my team, 3 of them, so this kind of build is very risky and RNG heavy and not even super rewarding, even if you do get lucky and don't get polymorphed. So but I mean, it's a new thing, so I'm sure people will figure it out, and maybe I will be proven wrong about it, but I don't think so. We have seen same type of thing play out before, and we do know that if you build something like this, then before the polymorph change, people basically weren't using champions like Kaimar or Ukko because it was just very RNG heavy. And after polymorph change, people did start using them again, but only with resistance, never just with accuracy. So maybe it can kill the Ukko here though. It's a very squeezy Ukko. Okay, I guess he didn't have the AoE just yet. Damn, not quite enough damage to finish off his team. Wait, do I even want to kill them? Because I think he's gonna... No, I have to kill them. He's not gonna use the revive on Ukko. It's just better to let it revive by itself, unless you have to revive the other champions in the team. Yeah, this is kind of hard fight, but I think we can do this eventually. This is not really those top tier fights that we had against the other guys with Taras and Marichka and us using Wukong and Rotos, but it's still pretty hard fight because we're using Staldus, so... And because he has the Harima, so even if I did have the Wukong here, it still wouldn't be easy, but maybe I would be able to do it. Okay, nice. Maybe the Wukong will also get polymorph from the next turn. If he does the A3, it's almost even the UDK doesn't have stone skin anymore, so it's almost certainly gonna get polymorph if he does the A3 and steals buffs from my team. Okay, nice. Maybe the Wukong can kill the Stalos now though. No? Okay. Yeah, yeah. It has the accuracy, so it's not in his best damage gear for sure. Ah, come on. Am I still gonna lose this fight? It's very hard. I'm not able to finish him off even though I'm trying. UDK seems like he doesn't do a lot, but even against team like this that has multi-hits and AoE damage, it's still doing an insane amount of work for me. So never underestimate UDK. It is one of the best champions in the game, even though it was a free champion. Kind of like Wukong, but probably UDK is even better than Wukong, to be honest. It's just that I really needed a nuker, so... But UDK is literally like probably top 5 champions in the game, to be honest. At least if we talk about like Platinum Arena or top of the PvP in the game. It might not be it if the meta changes, but for now I will definitely say that UDK is gonna be in the top 5. If not top 5, then for sure it's gonna be in everybody's top 10 list, but I think you need to put UDK in top 5 right now. Okay, maybe we can finally put the nail in the coffin and finish him off. Yeah, even in that build and with attack debuff, the Wukong A2 was hitting me very hard there. I mean, you might say that 57k isn't hard, but he has attack debuff on him. He's hitting my UDK, who is very tanky, and he's not built for nuking, so... Okay, that was a fun session. I mean, we definitely had some losses, but we were fighting against insanely good teams. I shouldn't have... Before I wouldn't have had any chance in beating them, but we were actually able to put up a fight thanks to Wukong, so thanks Plarium for an insanely good login reward. I'm really glad about it. There's also gonna be a Wukong competitions for the content creators, and I'm probably gonna make a video about it on next week, or maybe on weekend, we will see. No, it's gonna be next week. I don't have the time. Anyway, I wanted to show you this. I think I talked about it a bit earlier in the video, but our clan is going super hard for this CVC. Like I mentioned, our people don't really spend that much nowadays, or haven't for like the last couple years. So we aren't really a top clan in CVC, and usually we try to go for 2-1, and then against some clans we have to go for 1-2, but we really never go for 3 accessories or 4 accessories. But the last time we had an enemy that we couldn't beat, and we went for 1-2 against them and did really low points, and we got some easier opponent this time. No offense to these guys, I guess they got a bit unlucky this time, but we got an easy opponent. I thought we were still going to go for 2-1, but then in our clan they were talking that actually we're just gonna go all in this time and use all of your resources, and let's see if we can get 4-0. I mean, as you can see, we're not even in like top 10 or top 20, we are ranked 38 of the clans, so we're not even close, even though this is the hardest points that we're ever doing. Well, not like ever, but maybe this year it might. Yeah, this year it's very likely the highest points that we have done. But yeah, hopefully I will get something useful about it, but it's going to be RNG. Also, this is definitely the highest points that I have ever done in CVC. I think I have never done more than like 440k. I think that's my previous record. Maybe I still have some time. Maybe I will try to go for 500k just to say that I have done 500k points in CVC for once, but it's pretty exciting stuff for me. There's gonna be so much reaction that it's gonna be like Christmas, and hopefully I will get some new stuff for my Duchess, or maybe a banner for my Necret or UDK. But anyway, that's it for today's video. If you have any other questions about Live Arena or Wukong, then tell me in the comments, but I did try to answer like all of the things that came up into my mind, but I'm sure there will be other questions as well. But that's it for this video, and have a nice day.